Episode 7 of She-Hulk dropped this week. Episode 7 titled The Retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And another week without Daredevil. This week on the Daredevil Watch.
Yep, get baited again.
That shit's coming in the last episode. I know already.
We're watching the whole season.
Yeah, but that's okay because I really liked this episode.
It was a good one.
I think, honestly, this is my favorite episode so far. I really enjoyed it, actually.
I haven't really thought about my favorite episode of this because it's so like easygoing of a show, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Dusty's been sort of declining in his like.
Checked out.
Yeah, he's checked out. I figured he would hate this episode, but he has no vision, so that's fine.
No, there were some things in this episode I liked, but it wasn't good enough to bring me back like the last episode of Andor. Like the last episode of Andor brought me back. This
show is on another level
but
than
didn't,
Andor.
Didn't bring me
just
back.
Go ahead and say that. I mean,
this show's not for me.
Andor is on another level than this show, rather.
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't thought about which episode is my favorite either not because it's easygoing, because it's not. I don't know. It's just not really like one of those shows where I'm not like super into it, but I'm enjoying it. Like,
Same.
I think it's a fun show. But yeah. So let's talk about it.
It's a lot better than the wedding episode.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
Best episode yet, in my opinion. But this opens up. We get a montage of Jen dating Josh. You know.
Fucking motherfucker.
Nice guy, Josh. Really?
The episode started, it was just too perfect off the rip. I was like, yeah, this is going to be bad. Like in my notes, even before everything unfolded, I'm like.
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew.
We talked about it last.
I was like,
I was so
typing like, she's gonna wake up with fucking needle holes everywhere. Like I already knew. Like in my notes, I literally have it.
Yeah,
before they showed it, I knew, dude. It
was pretty obvious, but we get this really sweet representation of like dating, like modern dating, right?
Yeah.
And it was especially sweet for her because she wants people to accept her for who she really is, or who she thinks she really is. And that's what we've been talking about throughout the series so far. And, we get more of that later, which we'll go into. But she wants to be accepted as Jen because she feels that that's her true identity, not the She-Hulk. And, to be accepted and liked for who we are is something that, like, literally everyone deals with,
Yep.
So...
And especially like I think that's something maybe that content creators deal with a lot too, like putting on sometimes like more of a persona.
Oh, 100%.
You go to create content, and feeling like you have to put on this character.
You got to make them loud videos for kids to watch.
Yeah, with
fucking edits that like just zoom into your face and shit.
Right.
I might just for fun do an edit like that. But I mean, again, we see the magic of comic book characters, these big and powerful beings, but at the end of the day, they're just human beings like us folks who love to watch and read the shit. So, that's when these characters shine. And, probably a little bit why like some of the more recent Marvel movies have suffered in terms of like fan opinion. Namely, thinking of one like Multiverse of Madness, where like, there's really no stakes in that movie in terms of like human stakes. Like we get a little bit with like Wanda, but we already saw it, so I don't know. It's just like the world's ending. That stuff is
some people are alleging that Kevin Feige is spread too thin.
Yeah, we talked about that last night when we talked about the Wolverine
Blade
thing. Oh, Blade, yeah. But
it was yeah.
That aside, I just having every movie deal with some like earth-shattering, world-ending event is not really compelling, at least for me. And this episode is the stuff that I like out of those characters.
Oh, yeah. That development is nice.
Yeah. So we get that, and after the dating thing, which is funny because it ultimately ends in them sleeping together, and then we get the typical texting anxiety that comes after.
That shit was so funny.
And we all experience it.
Often.
Yeah, we all experience it. It's in the era of texting, maybe not Dusty, but overthinking and rethinking.
Dusty's got a flip phone, so he doesn't even,
Yeah, he's got that fucking Motorola fucking Razor.
Page me.
Yeah. But, overthinking and rethinking your text messages and then overthinking the other person's response and or lack thereof, which is what Jen's dealing with in this case.
Right.
Couple days pass and Jen she's starting to freak out.
Oh yeah, she's feeling that clinginess or something,
It's not even clinginess. It's just like through text, you don't get any real, like we think that like the meme of texting is like, oh, like certain, know what other people are saying or thinking, but you really don't,
Well, she has understandable anxiety. I mean,
well, yeah,
it's this somewhat Sex in the City style montage that we see where they're talking and they're going out,
Yeah.
And they're communicating, and then they finally get to it. She leans in, he pushes her away, he leans in, she pushes him away. Third time's a charm. They do the deal, and then
he's gone.
You go radio silence. Yeah,
of course,
that's gonna create some anxiety in somebody.
100%. But I'm talking about
anything could happen. Could have lost the phone, dropped the phone. Lots of things could happen.
Well,
the things that go on in people's head in that time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's specifically what I'm talking about. For sure, he gave her a valid reason to be concerned, but I'm talking about the funny moments where like people don't really give you a valid reason to be concerned, but you just are concerned because we're conditioned to be that way. You send a text, and if it's not immediately responded to, you're like, oh fuck, did I say the wrong thing?
I fucked up.
Yeah. So I thought
don't worry about that shit.
I was thinking like, why didn't she just, maybe pick up the phone and just call him?
Oh, come on, Marvin. Nobody does that shit.
That's what I would do.
I don't know. I thought that was really funny because, I mean, I consider myself,
you ain't answering my text. If you don't answer the call, that's it. You cut off.
I consider myself super cool and smooth.
Ghost busted, bitch. There ain't no ghost to me.
I don't let anything bother me.
I won't even always answer, but if you leave a message, I'll call you back if it's important.
Right.
Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Even I do that shit. If I'm talking to somebody that I like, there's always that little part of me that's like, oh, did I say the wrong fucking thing? Are they really into me? Are they not? Or am I misinterpreting this whole thing? It's fucking annoying. And yes, we should all be like you two fucking studs over there that are just super confident that you'll just pick up the phone and call. But maybe
it's a normal thing, I think.
Maybe someday.
But you have to have talked to the person before. Like, it's not like you just called them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, she was in a position where she could have easily called him, but anyway, she ends up getting no response for a couple days. And, and then she's doing the other funny thing that goes on when this situation's happening is like every time your phone goes off, you just fucking scramble to fucking get the phone out. And then you're just ultimately disappointed that it's not the person you wanted it to be. Right. Oh, it's the fucking 40th email I got today from some fucking website I never signed up for. Fuck.
Yep.
Trolling you. But, yeah, no, I found that whole like little sequence thing very funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
But, this gets interrupted on a Sunday afternoon. She gets called by Emil Blonsky's parole officer saying, hey, his ankle bracelet's going off. We got to go out to his ranch and check on him. She's like, oh, do you think he turned into the abomination? He's like, I don't know, but I need you there to protect me just in case.
He was scared as fuck.
Yeah, I mean...
I wasn't sure they were going to bring Abomination back. I thought it was maybe one and done, but he's back.
Well, I really love that they're playing with this Blonsky thing.
Yeah.
And I love the way they're playing with the Blonsky thing because, it turns out that his ankle bracelet just malfunctioned, right? Yeah. And they get there and they were kind of, well...
That's how they explain it.
Well, I'm getting to that, but they were just... Yeah, and that's the thing that they're playing with. Like, they end up getting there, and nothing really happened. He's like, oh, yeah, I hit, like, an electric fence, so maybe that's what happened. But this is so much better that it's Tim Roth, because Tim Roth is an unbelievable actor, and he's playing it so fucking funny. He's, like, casual and, like, just very funny about it.
He's acting, like, super clueless about it.
Yeah.
But I think he knows. Like, he's fucking around with all these, like, weirdo characters, like, Man Bull and these type of characters. I feel like there's some other shady stuff going on with him.
Well, he's a former supervillain, right? And clearly we, the audience, are like, nah, this guy's up to no good. We said this back in like episode 2 or whenever she went to like his parole hearing. We're like, he can't be just going good, right? Like that's not possible.
Shady. Yeah.
So we're conditioned to think that, but they're going about it in a playful way where it's like, is he though, or isn't he? But
they are.
In this particular case, in this episode, from what we saw, he's running a fucking like a cult ranch where
Obama
he's
stay.
Yeah, where
it's a therapy ranch, Dan.
Sorry. And he's become this enlightened, former villain who's living at this estate with no service, no cell reception, no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, fuck that no service part. That's what makes you think it's like a murderous cult. That is the scary part.
And turns out he's actually helping some other abilitied people achieve spiritual enlightenment and like hash out their problems. He's acting as like a therapist, life coach / counselor, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. He's got to be like,
or is he just using it as a front to assemble
possible
superpowered people?
These got to be like C tier fucking characters.
Well, this was a nod to Stan Lee and Marvel because some of these characters were created in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Oh shit!
I wasn't familiar with any of them, but I assumed they were like deep cut fucking old school villains.
Yeah.
But
the so-called vampire, I think, appeared in a Blade.
It's a random fucking dude. I wonder if he actually is a vampire though.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he probably is.
But he was just chilling out in the daylight.
Because in a world that the MCU is building, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the world
There's
doesn't,
only one Daywalker.
Well, if the world doesn't know about the appearance of the existence of mutants currently, perhaps they think vampires are just things of myth and fable, and they will later come to realize that they are real.
Mm-hmm.
Once the Blade movies kicks off and all that stuff. But
right.
So maybe he is a real vampire. But they did a really funny fourth wall break where Jen recognizes one of the guys from the Wrecking Crew, and in her little fourth wall thing, she says, "You guys probably don't even recognize this guy." And it was fucking hilarious because I had no fucking idea who he was. So they like wrote it perfectly. Like
they did. That was
worked.
Great.
But you recognize him?
Do a callback or something. She was like, "Here you go," right? And then they did it.
You recognize the guy?
I did actually.
I recognized him, but I didn't remember him as the thug. I was like, I know that guy from somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, no, that shit worked on me, boy. That was good.
Yeah.
That was kind of a stupid scene, too.
What?
Well, you didn't like that fourth wall break? I thought it was good.
Well, no, the fourth wall break was fine, but after that, where he's like, let's just talk it out.
Completely
I thought the therapy session was hilarious.
A group of thugs attacked me.
Completely disagree.
For whatever reason, she doesn't want to find out why they were there, what they were doing. No, sorry, we just randomly attacked a woman at night in the street.
Okay,
yeah,
but that's what she thinks.
She just let that go. Just let it go.
Because that's what she thinks. She's assuming they just attacked a woman alone on the street.
Right, she's not really. Yeah, that makes sense.
She's not thinking ahead of that. Like
with special weapons.
No, you're thinking too shallow into this. You're not thinking clearly because she
turned into the Hulk to beat his ass. How am I thinking too shallow about it? She was pissed off about it. I was pissed off about it. And then she's like, "Okay, never mind.
Because
you know what? You attacked me. It's fine."
She turned into the She-Hulk because that's her way of fighting now. But hang on.
So
wait. She's turning into the She-Hulk because that's her way of defending herself. But the whole point of this show is that she doesn't see herself the way the world is now seeing her. She's not thinking the way you're not thinking clearly. Like she doesn't have any sense of the fact that there might be these fucking super crazy villains out there trying to get her shit. So she just sees it as a random attack. So that's why
she doesn't think like an Avenger, right? Like an Avenger would be like, why are these people attacking me? There may be an ulterior motive.
Yep.
She's just thinking like a normal chick on the street.
If Bruce got fucking attacked, he would immediately be like, "Oh, somebody's up to no good."
Right.
Where's the leader at?
Down. Yeah. Right. Like they would track him down. Yeah.
She's got no sense of that yet because she herself hasn't even accepted that this is now her life.
Right.
Good.
And she's
she
not
had
really
the sense. She just let it go.
No.
And she's not really delving into, even with the leads that she's gotten from the two lawyers where they told her about that website and all the people that are interested in hurting her, she's not even worried really about it.
Yeah, she says it in this episode.
Even though that would give her like the perfect, like, oh God, this is serious.
Well, she says it in this episode. She's on her phone and her coworker, what's her name? Nikki is like, "Oh, you're fucking looking at that website?" She's like, "I don't give a fuck what people on the internet say about me." Like she's just not taking, she just doesn't
understand how serious it is.
Yeah, she's not putting the connections together. But I kind of figured that while I was watching this that you weren't going to like this episode because of what you said last time. But
it was funny.
I thought
her reading out those cringy ass texts was so funny, I think.
I thought this episode was really fucking funny. Jen actually ends up she partakes in this therapy group and she starts talking to them about her issues that she's anxious because she thinks she's being ghosted or whatever, and she starts telling them what her
opening up.
she starts telling them what she texted him, and they were like,
so bad.
They were like telling her,
what?
Yeah,
what?
Oh, your texts were too thirsty. He probably ghosted you. And again, this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. It's so funny because that's what people do. I mean, at least I do. If that happens,
true. You send a follow up that's like a million times worse.
And you go over it in your head and how the interaction played out. And like you think about all the possible things that could have went wrong, and then you talk to your friends about it, and then that's just what people do in the world of texting. And I don't know. I just thought
they got her to so they get her to show her true self, which is just changing back into Jen. Now, this is where I thought Dusty, like, oh shit, this is an ultimate plot to get her to turn back into a human, and now they're all about to gang up on her and do something. That's what I thought was about to happen, but turns out it was just a bonding moment.
You also get that little sense when she finally goes into the hut and the music kind of deafens for a second, and you're like, oh, here's the attack, because you're waiting for it.
I thought it was going to happen, like, especially because the construction guy was there.
You're on a good point there, Marvin. It could be that that's going to be the case eventually sometime, because this is Abomination, and he may be like, he's building it up, building trust, and then eventually like, I need something from you, and maybe he's the one that sticks her with the needle. We don't know.
Well, no, I think we do know, but hang on a second before we get to that. That scene you were just talking about, Marvin, where they get her to transform back into Jen, because this whole time she's sitting in this counseling meeting as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I thought this was a really emotional scene, honestly.
It was.
Where she's explaining, what we mentioned again at the start, where she wants to be accepted for who she feels her real identity is. And I thought it was a really great moment. And I felt that shit, like, what she was saying.
Yeah. The group was ready to ride or die for Jen, dude. And I was right there with them. Like, we're about to go fuck Josh up.
Oh,
the group was ready to like ride or die for her.
Yeah.
And go to fucking Josh's house and beat him up.
My one gripe, and I do wish the scene was done as Jen, not as the Adobe After Effects fucking starter pack CGI, because it was a really emotional scene, and I thought the emotion of it would have landed better, because Tatiana Maslany, however you pronounce it, she's a great actor. So I would have really liked to see her be able to sort of just act that scene out as a human being. It's actually a really odd decision that they did it this way. I'm not sure why they did that. It's almost like, hey, the show's called She-Hulk, like we have to just have her as She-Hulk, which isn't really the case. Like, I don't think for the story that they're telling, I think it would have worked way better as Jen. Yeah. But I'm not a writer, nor a producer, nor a director, so fuck what I have to say, right? But I thought the group of Emil's patients, they were fucking hilarious. You talked about the vampire guy. You got the fucking matador dude with his little conflict with like the fucking half bull, half guy.
Yeah, with his lightning sword.
He's allegedly a mutant.
Is he?
I think if you watch the Screen Crush Easter eggs video.
Well, I thought about this because I thought about this last episode when I forget which character. It was the Mr. Immortal. I'm like, are these guys actually mutants? Like, are these superpowered people we're seeing actually mutants? But who's to say? But right.
There's mutants, there's mutates,
yes,
and then there's aliens.
Well, the porcupine dude was fucking hilarious. He was my favorite.
My God.
One.
When they got him to take off his mask and it was just stinking up the whole room,
and he goes, "What am I, ashy?" His face was all blistered and shit. It was like blisters from not taking the mask off.
Okay.
That shit was funny.
It was hilarious.
That shit was funny.
And listen, I know the critics of this show are gonna say, oh, here's another episode where it's fucking shitting on men ghost girls, and like all this stuff. But it's like, again, this happens to everyone. Like whether you're man or woman, like it just happens. It's like what social media and the digital age has done to just human interaction in general. Like I feel like we've forgotten how to sort of function.
I mean, I think it's perfect to use a real life scenario like that for Josh to cover up stealing her blood while she slept.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, and that brings us, of course, back to what Dusty started saying. We get this flashback at the end of the episode of their last night together when they slept together, and he wakes up in the middle of the night. He's fucking cloning her phone or downloading information, whatever he's doing. And we find out he's not so fucking nice as we suspected.
His username is King Hulk something.
Yes, and
no, that's who he was talking to.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he was talking.
I thought
to
he was
King
making
Hulk.
a post. Okay.
He sent the emojis, which, to my mind, signified that he did in fact steal her blood while she was sleeping.
Yes,
I don't know
it was-
that he did.
It was the 2 needles and a fucking smiley face or some shit. What else could you have gotten from that?
And I thought she may have noticed one point because she like did this thing where she like touched her neck, and I was like, oh damn, did he?
Oh, I didn't notice that. When was that? When she woke up?
I can't remember
previously.
I can't remember exactly when it happened. I would have to go back, but I do remember that. But I don't know if that was.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't see him. We didn't see him take the DNA.
No, bro, you don't have to fucking literally see him do the shit.
Okay, all right. So what the fuck did they build up all that super giant needle for that they were going to use while she's She-Hulk? It was like a vibranium needle.
Yeah,
we saw in one of the scenes.
Because you
got to have multiple ways to attack. Right?
Well, no, he probably had the needle. They're telling you that like people are looking for her blood.
But
they don't have to show it.
I'm saying,
oh my god, you really are Drex.
No, I'm saying you can have multiple ways to attack, right? Like if you have a normal
6-inch long needle, he just jabbed into her and she didn't know.
No, but if she's human,
I don't know if you know.
Hang on, one at a time.
If she's human, he doesn't need a giant. He can just use a regular needle while she's human. Her skin isn't impenetrable while she's human.
That's true. Marvin's got the big brain. I didn't even think of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And she's sleeping. She wouldn't,
Yeah, because the first attempt was for the gang up to fucking try to overpower her.
Yeah.
And this next plot was, no, you got to fucking...
Let's get close.
Yeah, soften her up.
The only thing we saw him do was copy her phone. We didn't see her take her DNA.
Bro, they don't have to specifically show the thing for you to be like, yeah, this is probably what happened. I'm saying, like, what do you mean? There's like, there's like, there are writing elements that,
text.
You don't just have to see everything to feel like it happened. I don't know. I think it was pretty clear that that's what he did. And I didn't notice the neck thing, but that's interesting. I want to kind of go back and check that out.
I want to go back too, because I might have been.
Because I feel like I remember her when she woke up that morning in the beginning of the episode, like sort of do this thing.
That's what I was saying.
But I didn't think anything of it. And now that you mentioned it, I do want to go back and watch it.
Got her in the neck.
But yeah, my favorite episode so far. It had comedy, a good comedy. I thought that shit was, I was laughing the whole time.
Comedy.
It had a really good moment of drama, some stuff that we could all relate to, except for you tough guys, apparently, with the texting stuff.
I still can relate.
But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. No credit scene, but we did see Porcupine taking his suit to the cleaner.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
Oh, man, that shit was crusty as fuck.
If I went somewhere and there was zero service, I wouldn't walk around for hours staring at my phone, hoping for a bar. It's not something that I would ever do. So.
Well, to be
Especially
fair,
not a resort getaway in fucking California. Nah, I'm chilling. I'm big chilling.
Yeah, I'm
she was already
my phone off and not even carrying it around. I don't care.
Well, she was already stressed and anxious, so that's probably why. And she also, it's not like she planned to go on a vacation.
But she also said she had work to do. I think that was just to cover up that she was like obsessing over her phone.
Yeah, she was definitely, yeah.
But, it was funny too, because like Emil caught onto it and he like joked with her one time. He's like, I think you got a text message. She's like, I did? So, I don't know.
I did like Emil Blonsky. His character was great.
I mean,
I loved his character, but
that's the strength
pretty much the strength of it so far.
That's the strength of Tim Roth. Tim Roth is killing it. Yeah. I think he's fucking hilarious. And it's like, it's pretty clear they were like, yeah, just play it. Like, whatever. You got your character.
He's up to something. You don't know what, but it'll be interesting to see what it is.
But maybe he isn't, though. But maybe he isn't. And I already decided in my head.
Both ways. I can see it both ways.
I've already decided in my head that I don't know whether he is or isn't up to no good, but I've already decided in my head that I'm perfectly okay if he's not up to no good. Because
even if it's the Thunderbolts, like even if he's like if he heads the Thunderbolts and he turns only when he needs to, he lets the other people do all the work, but he's up to something.
But even if
I can see it both ways for sure.
But even if it's nothing, I've already decided that I don't care because I just love the way they're like being playful about it.
Right, they're leaving it really open ended with him. Like you can't tell 100% sure. Like, is he good? Is he doing some other stuff? Yeah.
But that's it for this episode of She-Hulk, folks. Tune in next week to find out if Daredevil makes his appearance. But he won't.
Only 2 more episodes to go.
2 more episodes to go. Coded's grinding now. He's really struggling. Let us know in the comments what you think about She-Hulk so far and what you think is coming for the last 2 episodes. Please be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already, and check out our website, harshlanguage.tv, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.
Hasta.